Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it.
But I think it'd be kind of expensive to drink about 10 of these bottles just to get the containers to make a silo out of it.
Oh,
so.
for a grain elevator? Or?
Yeah, for a grain, well, for a sugar factory, a grain elevator, whatever.
Yeah.
I see no issue with that.
Start drinking now.
Well, before they added the tariff, it was about $70 a bottle. I think it's gone up.
Tariff from where?
Make a quick cup of coffee while they're getting it.
Oh, they put a tariff on Scotch.
Now Ron is left to make coffee.
Yeah, we could hear him do that.
I can still hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the show's been going for 40 seconds, and now you're leaving for coffee.
Oh no, I'm still here.
Oh, yeah.
As long as he brings the donuts back with him.
Yeah, exactly. And Bruce is gone. How do you feel like
it's going to get more liquor? I think.
Yeah, he's going to get some liquor. That's not good. This is a hug it out show. We need a girl on here. And we'll have to get the new guy to play the female part.
George, do you not have a camera?
George? Oh, George is left too?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
George.
Look who's here.
Oh, Martin's here now.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah,
for those of you who can't, for those of you playing along,
when you were in Orkney?
For those of you playing,
I got this from my.
For those of you playing along, for those of you playing, what is that noise?
Somebody's got a phone.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Somebody's got a phone near there.
Somebody's got an antique phone.
Yeah. For those of you playing along at home, Bruce just held up a bottle of, what was it, Bruce?
Highland Park 12-year-old.
Highland Park 12-year-old.
Viking Honor.
Yeah, they make that just down the street from Gordy, where Gordy's house is, or his offices.
Yep.
Not anymore.
I went on the tour of that, and where he moved.
He moved and he got a new job, right?
Yeah, and where his new office is just down the street from Highland Park. One of the best Scotch distillery tours I've been on is that Highland Park tour. That's really nice.
Yeah, I was at the liquor store buying some beverages a few weeks ago, and I was sending pictures to Gordy asking him, is this any good? And he goes, look for Highland Park. And I found like 4 different kinds of Highland Park, and I was texting the pictures. And he goes, he just said, yeah, that's even cheaper than what I can buy it here.
Yeah, there's no discounts there.
On the street.
Chris, can we go back to Chris Atkins for a minute? So you're trying to tell me that in Orkney, on this island of 300 people, there's a brewery, a distillery beside his house?
Well, it's close to where he works.
And where he works,
was it Kirkwood?
Not now. I said not
Kirkwall.
now.
Yeah, his new job in Kirkwall.
Really? There's
two distilleries there. Highland Park is one that's been there for a long time.
In the
I think there's definitely more than 300 people there in Orkney. There's probably 10 or 15,000, I imagine.
So let's have a no way. Let's have a Gordy Robinson update here then. So he's gotten a new job in the Orkneys.
Yeah, Kirkwall.
Doing what? Like serving up burgers or what?
Well, he could tell us a lot more than I can, but I know it has something to do with software in the medical industry, which is not unlike what he had done before, but not working at a hospital, not working for a.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Actually, I'm not even sure it's in the medical industry. I think it's outside the medical industry, but it's the kind of work he's doing, project management and so forth. It looked like that was kind of similar to what he'd done his previous job.
So that's 2018. The population of Orkney was 22,190.
Wow.
I was off by 7,000 people.
I didn't know it was that big.
And Kirkwall is about 8,500.
So Kirkwall is a city, right? And in the UK, a city is defined by
Kirkwall's it's a small town, about 8,500.
That has a cathedral. So
St. Magnus Cathedral, yes.
Because it has a cathedral, it's defined as a city in the UK.
And then the other
St. Olaf, the patron saint at St. Magnus Cathedral.
Yes.
So is it
because of its Norse background.
So this series of islands called the Orkneys.
Mm-hmm.
just 35 miles from the Arctic Circle, in the North Atlantic, has got a city of 22,000.
No, the whole island is 22,000.
Oh yeah, come on. There's a little bit different.
Of course, we all know that there's a town.
That's a little bit different. The way Chris was describing it, the town was 22.
No,
the entire
town.
Yeah,
I said 15,000, and I wouldn't be surprised if 15,000 people living in the town of Kirkwall, because it's the largest town.
The entire chain
8,500.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the entire chain of islands is 22,000, and there's like what is it, a land of 10,000 islands or something? And there's indigenous people, and there's natives, and so he found a job in Kirkwall. Well, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, Gordy.
I think he started that in January. That's why they moved up there, so he started.
That is not why they moved there. Give me a break.
Oh no, because they just moved into their house last week.
Yeah,
right?
but they started. But he was talking about that last summer that they was building.
Alex's parents live in Stromness.
Yeah, and he had no job, and he
got a job.
Right, but that's not why he moved. That's not why he moved to the Orkneys.
No. I said that's why they went ahead and moved up, because he got a job.
No, they went ahead and moved up because this house was finished.
Well, no, they moved up in January and lived with his in-laws, which I'm sure was really fun. This is great talking about Gordy when he's not here.
Well, it's great talking about Gordy. He's listening to it right now, wherever he is, somewhere in the Orkneys. He's either in transit to work, or he's working on his layout, or whatever he's doing. He built a brand new house, so I can come visit him.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
And he's listening to
lots of asphalt.
A lot of asphalt. And is that his Volvo in the driveway?
I don't know. He didn't have a Volvo when I visited him.
Okay, well, there's a Volvo in the driveway.
Maybe the in-laws.
Well, yeah, I remember you according to Gordy, you had a big Escalade. But you were touring
he told me I had a big car because it was basically a Ford Escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, which for them is big.
Yeah, the British version of a Ford Escape was huge. And meanwhile, I told him when he came down here, I said, "You want to drive my Suburban? I'll let you, because you get a chance to drive actually a real size car."
Yeah,
that'd be like driving a semi for him.
Yeah, or a hearse maybe.
All right, I'm going to introduce everybody. This is Hug It Out Part 2. This is to make everybody feel good. This is our effort to help everybody get through the current situation engulfing the world. And we know people all over the world listen to. Hey, George, you have to turn your camera off.
Oh yeah, hang on. I gotta hold on. Stand by.
It's down at the bottom there, George.
Yeah, it's down at the bottom there, George. All right,
I can't find it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm going to introduce everybody from left to right. So, all the way from Argyle, Texas, home of the Fighting Sox, is none other than Chris Atkins. With Argyle, somewhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I was talking to George Bogatuk last night.
Oh yeah. And by the way, howdy. And yeah, how's George?
George is doing great. You know what? You might be able to answer this question.
Well, you did such a great job on Gordy. Let's talk about George.
Let's talk about George. This episode of Hug It Out, it's all about talking about other people. So
this episode of AML Gossip is brought to you by Highland Park Distilleries.
Yeah,
there you go. George had a computer where it had like a voice-activated mic on it. It's going to turn out to be a great podcast because George was high energy and he had lots of information. But we had to be very careful that we didn't talk while George was talking, or vice versa, because then his mic would cut out because it was like voice activated, which was slowly driving me nuts.
I can testify to that.
Yeah. And so does anybody here know anything about voice activated mics? Because we were trying to think, because that's a Vox mic, is it not?
That's horrible. You should use a headset. Yeah. But by the way, George from the DFW area originally. That's why the connection.
Right. Yes. Yeah, we talked all about that.
Listen to the podcast, Chris. Listen to
the podcast sometime in June.
Yeah, okay.
And then we have Ron Marsh all the way from El Dorado.
Hey, I think that's the first time you got that right.
El Dorado Springs, Missouri.
That's right.
About 90 miles south east of Kansas City, Missouri. Is that about right?
Yes, that's exactly right.
And
Wow.
you are the host, the creator, the big Goomba of Ron's Trains and Things, which is the #1 video model railroad video YouTube channel on the internet.
Or soon to be, I hope.
Well, as far as we're concerned, it is.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
And you have over 25,000 subscribers.
I have right at 25,000. In fact, I've been watching the count today because I'm literally that close. As of this moment, I have 24,954 subscribers.
So what prize does number 25,000 get?
Mm-hmm.
Bragging rights.
Oh, okay.
I still have to.
We finally get to know what the things is of Ron's train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find out what the things.
I've reached 25,000 subscribers. Here are the things.
Here are the things.
Well, that's not nearly as exciting as I thought it was. And then the subscribers will go down to like 19,000.
Oh, Ron, you're missing the opportunity. Every show you could start out, well, here's the thing. And you can go from there.
That's not bad. I may have to try.
And you're also
Wouldn't that Jack Benny used to that? Was here's the thing, or no? Somebody used to
did
do
do that.
all the time.
Yeah. And also you're now a rising star at the Model Railroad Academy, and you just found out today that you're, because of the COVID-19, we can talk about COVID-19 because this will be broadcast within hours of when we finish recording it.
Awesome.
Yes, this is AML Raw Uncut.
Yeah, this is that's right. I forgot to tell you guys. I got to tell you. Shut up, Martin.
Hey, Martin, here's a quick question before Lionel goes into withdrawal. What's the weather like in Australia right now?
It's quite warm today. It's
Right?
not hot, but
So
it is
it's
quite warm and
Quite
pleasant.
warm, but not hot. Okay.
Yeah.
So warm and pleasant. What, we're about 24 Celsius.
We're
and
about
humidity
20.
60?
We're about 27 degrees, 28 degrees with about 50% humidity.
Oh,
so
it's a pleasant thing. Queen.
Yeah.
it's
So,
lovely.
so then it's just 4 degrees below freezing.
No,
That's
we're
not-
talking about real measurements.
All right.
Yeah.
So what is
Oh.
that in Fahrenheit for everybody that's not in Australia? What is that in Fahrenheit?
Is that like 72 or 74 degrees?
No,
or
it's like
something?
80. It's 80.
No, it's about 80,
20
mid-80s.
Well, that's what it was
20
here.
Hmm.
Wow, you should move to Missouri.
You can't get out of the country or he would. No.
He's on the other
That's a
side of
good
the
point.
swing. He's headed to cold, and you're headed to warm.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's no editing of this, so be careful what you do, but there's no editing, so have at it. So and
Okay.
Why were you
today,
looking at Ron when you said that?
yeah, exactly. And so today
But
also,
he's the troublemaker. That's why.
yeah, we found out today. Am I allowed to say this, Ron? I think so, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Ron's going to be doing a bunch more live videos with Model Railroad Academy. I just
Excellent.
yeah, George.
See, the only problem though is it's all designed for old retired guys. Well, although right now it won't matter because everybody's at home, but they always run their live stuff like 2 PM.
I know it's very
Normal
strange.
people are at work.
It's very
That is
strange.
true.
It's very strange why they do that. I don't fully understand that whole concept.
Well, there is some scientific whatever I'm trying to say. There's some reason behind that. They've studied their viewership for live streams and found that weekdays are when they get the best viewership for the live events themselves. Of course, the live events are then all. I mean, you can watch them after the fact; they all go up as video. But it doesn't make sense to me either necessarily. But that's what they say when they say they get the best viewership for the live event itself. So that's what we're doing.
They must have got their numbers from the NMRA.
Now that could be.
I bet,
It's the same demographic who's available at 11 a.m. when they go live.
I bet it's because people are tuning in at work and not paying attention to work. They're just watching the videos.
Oh shit! When
Yeah,
All
could
at
be.
work.
Sorry, why didn't I think of that?
Why didn't you think of what?
Watching it work.
Yeah, there
That's
you
how I'm
go.
recording them. So why shouldn't you watch them that way?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna now. So now I'm gonna, and I think that's enough about Ron.
Yes. All right. So we've had Chris. We've had Ron.
Yeah. Now I'm going to introduce the new guy.
All right.
George. Okay. So this fella has actually never been on the AML network ever, but I have already interviewed him for a segment on an upcoming AML All-Star Variety Hour. But he is
how'd that go?
Not well.
Okay.
But he was kind of nervous, and then he messaged.
Yeah, well, you did it while he's driving the truck, and he almost went in the ditch 4 times. So.
And then he messaged me about a day later and says, "I think I sounded kind of nervous." And I went, "Yeah." But George always is posting to the page, the fans page, because he drives a FedEx truck. And he's an enthusiastic member, and I thought, after I talked to him, I thought, this boy's going to fit right in. So, George, say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
And I got a question for you, George. Are you a subscriber of Ron Strange and Things?
I absolutely am a subscriber of Ron Strange and Things.
Oh.
Fantastic. I like him already.
Yeah. So how long have you been subscribed to that channel?
I subscribed to Ron after I heard his interview on the podcast.
Whoa! There you go. There's a
please mention AML too.
yeah.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. Did you mention? You should tell Ron that. Maybe you'll get a free art. What's the deal with Ron with that backwards R? What was your thinking about that?
That was a clearance sale.
Discount R.
I'm dyslexic. No,
he was at Toys R Us and saw it and thought it was good.
Go ahead. Say that again, hard part.
Oh, he was at Toys R Us, saw the backwards R.
They were going out of business, so they had a lot of those extra R's on sale.
Yeah, and he took it off their building and used it on Ron's Trains and Things.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I get it. So George lives he lives in Ottawa, Ontario, which is the nation's capital of Canada. It's also the home of the Ottawa Senators, who neither Bruce nor I have understand why they even exist.
So other teams can get wins.
Yeah, so other teams can get wins.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah. And what else can you tell us about yourself, George? You have a son?
I do. His name is William. He's just about a year and a half.
Right.
My wife's name is Nicole. And I've been a model railroader my whole life.
There you go. And your dad's a model railroader, and your brother's a model railroader.
It's pretty much a family affair. Yeah.
Family affair.
Involved with Vovar up there?
I'm not currently. My dad and my brother are.
Right.
I've kind of been trying to juggle time with around that, but definitely on the edges for sure.
Back in the mid from about 86 to 90, I was heavily involved in Vovar.
Bruce, if you
right on.
Bruce, if you had listened to the interview that hasn't been broadcast yet, you'd know all this.
Yes, well, then broadcast the interview so I can listen to it.
So, George, without spoiling the podcast, what do you model?
So I model. I'm part of a modular club. So I model 2 different eras because I wanted to kind of spread myself out a little bit. So I modeled the Canadian Pacific in 1958, diesel and steam, and then I modeled the Canadian National and VIA in 1978. So right after VIA's inception.
Right. Nice.
So a lot of really interesting, like mixed gear. Like you've got like 3 different paint schemes or 4 different paint schemes in the same kind of block of time. So it makes for a really interesting section of modeling.
And he's also representing our younger clientele. You're 27, right, George?
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, with the 1-year-old, I figured he was probably in his 50s.
Yeah.
He's way outside the NMRA.
Yeah. I'm like way out of left field. Like I'm on the spec.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you have a 1-year-old when you're in your 50s, either one of 2 things have happened, and you don't need to discuss that.
Turns out that vasectomy wasn't guaranteed.
One of 2 things have happened, and neither one of them are very favorable.
Well, I would
cost you a lot of money.
I would disagree with that. David Letterman, he had his first kid when he was over 50.
Fair enough.
Lots of. Let's put it this way, hard part. Lots of elderly gentlemen with a fair amount of coin have children that are younger than 20.
Look at Mick Jagger.
Mick
Yeah,
Jagger.
Kevin,
Yeah, that's true.
Kevin, how many kids do you have?
Yeah.
I only have a 4-wheel child out in the garage.
And how old are you, Kevin?
I'm 53. No children.
So,
So you need to find yourself a young thing. Yeah.
You know what, Chris? That could be exactly why LaFonda exists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good point.
She's got really dark windows too.
Is there something you want to tell us, Kevin? Something you've been holding back?
No.
Okay.
No, I was just gonna say I'm 53 with no children. That's why LaFonda exists, and there's
that's what I was getting at.
And there's an unlimited Fast Tracks budget. So those two things go hand in hand.
So I predict Kevin will be a 55-year-old, a 1-year-old here before long.
Yeah.
I need to sell my Fast Tracks fixtures.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting clipped, just for that reason.
Yeah,
just so that way there are no surprises.
And
what you're really saying is so LaFonda doesn't turn into Lavanda.
Exactly. Yeah. I have to go buy LaFonda new shoes next week, and new shoes for LaFonda, are around, it's gonna be around $1,200-$1,300.
I'm in the same boat.
But LaFonda's a pricey woman, apparently.
She is, and only the best for her. She's going to get some Pirelli Scorpion Verdes next week.
Nice. Very nice.
Ooh,
You'll be posting pictures, of course.
How many miles do you get a set of those?
If I get 25 or 30, that'll be fine. And I've winter tires for her, so those are going to come off, and the other ones are going to go on.
What does she wear in the winter?
Right now she has some Bridgestone Blizzaks on right now.
Well, there you
go. On separate winter rims.
So she dresses sensibly for the winter and sporty in the summer.
Absolutely.
Yep. And Kevin, can we just reiterate again? When the time comes, LaFonda is mine, regardless of whether I need her or not. I'm buying it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I just want to reiterate that.
Yeah, you get first dibs.
All right. Okay, just so we keep that alive. Because whether I need it or not, she's going to end up in Florida.
So, for those playing along at home, should we have Kevin describe what LaFonda is, so that?
Yeah, I think so. That'd be good. Yeah.
So LaFonda is my BMW X5. That's all black. That's all. The wheels aren't blacked out, but everything else is blacked out.
And just so we close this topic off, Kevin, in 2 years we don't want to. I have no problem with what you do with your personal life, but I don't need you explaining to me that I understand she's 20 years younger than me, but we've made a connection and that's why we're getting married. I don't need to hear any of that.
No, that's just assumed, and it kind of comes with the territory.
Well, speaking of Kevin, let's introduce him. All the way from...
there we go. Is Kevin here?
Yeah.
He is.
All the way from Appleton, Wisconsin, the Nashville North, the #1 Harley boot guy, the soon-to-be Fast Tracks video instruction guy.
Oh, and there's another new Fast Tracks title.
Do we have a scoop here?
Oh.
No, I don't think so, Kevin or Chris. I think it's just kind of general. We've mentioned it a few times, I thought.
I said his new title, his new Fast Tracks.
Well, there's another Fast Tracks title, which is soon to be email and phone support for Fast Tracks.
Really?
Oh,
yes.
Ooh.
Since my job is, let's just say, it's not quite as busy as it used to be. There's a little bit of extra time, but the good folks up in Port Dover are busier than ever.
Good for them.
So I've started to get emails forwarded to me. So if you send an email to Fast Tracks, I will see it.
Okay. How much does an O scale #5 turnout? Do you have to buy individuals for left and right?
No, you get a left and right on the same fixture.
Okay. How much does a #5 O scale fixture cost roughly?
The same price as one Pirelli Scorpion tire. Don't ask me how I know that, but
it's not
I will.
Quite that much, is it? Is it like $150?
Yeah, I think with #5s we can still get them on. Here, I'll tell you in a second. We can still get them on one piece of aluminum, but there's a certain point where O scale has to go on to.
So like a #8 would require 2 pieces of aluminum.
Yes, they're that big. So I'm sorry, you said #6.
5.
5.
You're the one that's got sex on your mind.
Yeah.
5. Okay, yeah. #5 is still $154.95 is what they are. So that's still on one piece of aluminum. And then let's see, #6s are $159, and then #8s I know for sure. Yeah, jump up to $259.95 because they're on.
So the #5's only like only just roughly around $110 American.
So Lionel, that was American Price.
That was American.
So Lionel, you just give Kevin your credit card number, and he'll get those right to you, and you'll be in business here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you could actually have them by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week.
I actually know a guy.
Oh,
you do know a guy.
I know a guy. I know several guys. Bruce, did I introduce you?
There's zero in stock, but they are built to order.
Yeah, and I've seen them many times.
It's amazing, isn't it? There's something satisfying about watching machines just whip those things out.
This is going to make Martin Jenkins fall off his chair because he refers to me as Captain Grumblebum.
Happily named.
Seems appropriate.
Don't kill the image. Tim Warris gave me I think I already said this the other day to somebody. Tim Warris gave me the nicest compliment I've ever had in my entire life. The last time I went to see him, just before Christmas last year, he gave me the nicest compliment I've ever had in my entire life. And it was a couple of days later, and he sends me a message, and he says, "I always enjoy your visits here. It's like a really good movie, and it lasts for several days."
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Two guys are laughing.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It was the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me.
Wow. So if we ever want to get that warm and fuzzy Hallmark holiday Christmas movie feeling, we just need to talk to you.
No, you need to cough up about $12,000 to my hospital fund, and you'll be all set. My one more year fund. Keep donating over a period of 3 years or 4 years, a large amount of money like Tim has, and then I'll be as warm and fuzzy as you want. I'll be so damn warm and fuzzy. You'll be like, I got to get this blanket off of me.
Oh,
You'll be warm and fuzzy like a onesie gopher outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I have this scene from the movie Airplane in my mind right now, that cockpit scene. What did they say again? I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. Do you like
Gladiator movies?
That's the one.
Pick part of the movie. I'm pretty sure we get quotes from any part of the movie you want.
Yeah. And then, Bruce, did I introduce you?
A hospital? What is it?
Yeah, it's a large building with windows, but that's not important right now.
Introduce me, then I'll go into a story.
All right, then I'll do that really quick then. And we also have Bruce, the moderately agitated male boy, who's been with us, I personally say, who's been with us since the beginning, because even for the first couple of shows where you weren't actually on, to me...
I think I showed up about episode 13, and if you listen to that, we kind of saved it at the end.
yeah, that's right. The show was about to go off the air, and he saved it at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your story?
No,
I would think about Leslie Nielsen, of course, starred in Airplane, and also all those Naked Gun movies. And last week, people may have seen on Facebook floating around the video of some council meeting somewhere where the mayor, somebody got off to go off to the washroom and left his mic on. So, the sound effects are just going, and they're just killing themselves. And of course, this reminded me of Leslie Nielsen in The Naked Gun, where the Queen's he's doing security for the Queen, and he goes off to the washroom with his mic on.
Somebody you and I know of is Ned Jarrett, who is the NASCAR announcer and two-time champion of NASCAR racing.
Yes.
He told a story once of how he did a pit stop description while he was in the washroom. The guy come in, he goes, he's taking 4 tires and blah, blah. It was all audio. That's the beauty of audio. You can make up anything as you're going along. Like, watch this. Like, you can make up anything as you're going along. And next up, we have all the way from Brisbane, Australia, somebody who I really, really like and incredibly talented, and somebody who adds so much to the human race. I can't even think of all the descriptions or adjectives I can come up with. See how you can make up stuff, Bruce, when you're on audio?
and remember, he's from the future, so you can call him Future Boy.
Yeah, Future Boy. Martin,
what'd you have for breakfast this morning, Martin?
Oh, I just had my cornflakes now. I've just had a piece of toast, and Mary's gone back inside the house, so I'm out in the air-conditioned train shed, enjoying the mirth and merriment.
All right,
well,
cool.
There you go.
With Captain Grumblebum.
with Captain Grumblebum. Yeah.
I envision that as an Australian version of Captain Crunch or something.
Yeah. And finally, all the way from Medford, Oregon, he's the captain. He's the president of every model railroad club with under 102 miles. He's the president of the Rogue Valley HO Scale Club. He's the president of the Live Steamers. He's the landscaper for the Live Steamers. He's the safety officer. And I have a bad feeling. Lately, I've been getting a bad feeling that when he puts on that orange Walter safety vest, he's really, really annoying. And he's he's also in charge of the Prototype Railroad, and he's running for mayor of Medford. And what else?
Whoa!
You got a new garage door put on?
Oh, yeah, got a new garage door. It's none other than the modeler simply known as Kelly. You want to say,
and he's not here.
You want to say hello or anything?
Insert cricket noises here.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, you want to say hi or?
I did say hello.
Yeah, usually there's noise when you're saying something.
Hey, Lionel.
Yeah.
Can you make an exception and edit him out?
Yeah. I was gonna. Oh yeah. So before we go on, I have a good question.
AML partially cut.
Yeah, AML partially uncut. Yeah,
it's a rough cut.
Yeah. How are you enjoying this so far, George?
Loving it. Seriously.
All right. I got Martin. So a little bit of seriousness now. So you are. What's your regular job?
My regular job.
What do you eat? Hold on. What are you eating?
He's eating cornflakes.
I'm not eating anything now. I'm finished.
Yeah.
I've just finished my piece of toast. I've got a fresh cup of coffee here. That's all I've got.
All right.
You have jam on your toast?
I had marmalade, or as Ronnie Corbett says, marmalade.
Yeah.
Marmalade?
Marmalade.
Now, was it 3-fruit marmalade or just straight up orange?
Just straight up orange marmalade.
Oh, nice. Can't go wrong with that.
Do any of you fellas from the United States of America know what marmalade is?
Yes.
Yep.
Have you ever had it?
Yes.
I have it on my peanut butter.
It's like orange jam.
Yeah, it's like orange jam with chunks in it.
Yeah. Kelly has it on his peanut butter. Of course he does.
Yeah.
Oh, I love marmalade. It's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just asking. What's your regular job in Australia? So you live in Brisbane, which is the Gold Coast, which is on the eastern coast of Australia. About how far north of Sydney, Australia?
We're about 10 hours by car north of Sydney, on the third largest city in Australia. Basically at the beginning of Queensland, which is where the Great Barrier Reef is and all the beaches and all the resorts. So we tend to get inundated here with tourists from all around the country, although we're not now.
Okay. And what is Australia home to? I've been telling you this for quite some time now.
Have you now?
Yeah. Bruce, would you like to help him out here?
Kangaroos and koalas?
No, a supercar V8 racing, the greatest auto racing on the planet.
Okay.
Yeah. V8 supercars. Yes, I forgot that you're a V8 supercar fan.
All right, who can't be? All right. So, what's your actual job during the regular times?
Well, my job is I'm an electrical inspector for the government.
Hang on a minute. I'm sorry. It's very rude to cut people off, but as I came to it during regular times, I was thinking to myself, these current times must be perfect for you, these irregular times. Carry on.
We're here all week, folks.
Yeah.
Don't forget to tip the waitress.
And it's gone.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize. That was rude.
Yeah, so I work as a electrical inspector for the government. So we've actually now been seconded away from that department, and we're doing other work.
Okay, and can you tell us what that other work is, or is it a secret, or?
No, it's to do with the current predicament we're in, but we're doing what they call contact tracing. So people who have been put into self-isolation, we're ringing them up and finding out who they've spoken to or who they've been in contact with over the last 2 weeks. And then we're tracing those people down and arranging for testing for them to be done. And I've been out delivering care packages as well.
And how many people would you have called in the contact tracing?
I've done about 5 people so far, but they're usually like a 2 or 3 hour phone call.
Oh, really?
Well, you've got to find out everyone that they've come into contact with in the last 2 weeks.
Holy mackerel! That would be and then there must be a form that you're filling out or something, is there?
Yeah, we put it all into a computer system, so I just sit at home with the laptop, and I've got a bunch of pre-defined questions to ask them and bits to fill out on a form, and then I email that off to into the Ethernet, and somebody else obviously grabs it and then starts chasing those people down.
Wow, that's a big. That's quite the job. Yeah.
So you do the primary contacts, and then somebody else takes it from there.
Yeah. Otherwise, if it was one person doing it,
you'd be there forever.
Yeah.
And then then the rest of the time you're delivering packages like to people that are self-isolated or something.
That's correct. Yeah, we've been now set up so we go and collect care packages, which could be medicines or foodstuffs, and then we take those out and drop those off to people in self-isolation who probably can't get out and do any shopping or anything like that.
So it must be pretty satisfying for you, is it?
Oh, it is, yeah, and it's good to see that the actual government's doing something that's, interacting with the public and worthwhile,
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to leave that there. Because you were, let's move over to George, because also, George, you're still working, aren't you?
Yeah, I haven't stopped.
And you work for FedEx, and you deliver packages to one of the various routes in your part of the country.
Yep.
And I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I think these are guys that are being kind of not forgotten necessarily, but holy moly, you're still out there, and well, you're in Canada, so it's not quite as serious a situation as it is on the other side of the river there in upper New York State. But so, have you had any experiences of people being kind of flaky or anything?
You know what? It's been really weird. It's kind of been back and forth. You get some people that are like really kind of like, they come to the door, and of course, like my thing is like I drop the box and try and move as quickly as I can away, so that way they can just get it and go back inside and carry on with what they were doing. But you get some people that come to the door and like they're really like kitted out. I'm talking mask, gloves, and they're in their house, and it's like, all right, sure, whatever works for you. But there was one particular delivery actually I did. I was off today, but there was one particular delivery I did earlier this week. And I pulled up at the end of the gentleman's driveway, and I got out, and I was walking up with the box, and he was in his garage, and he starts to walk towards me and says, "Oh, just by the way, I'm in quarantine." So,
holy mackerel!
Yeah. So I stopped dead. Yeah, I stopped dead, put the box down, said, "Have a nice day," and I moved quickly.
Catch this.
Yeah, really.
If you can, okay, all right. So I thought a good question we could ask everybody is, what's your favorite movie of all time? Because I'm sure people are sitting inside watching movies and trying to fill time. So I'm going to start with Ron. Ron, what's your favorite movie of all time?
I knew you were going to start with me because do I really have to narrow it down to one? Can I choose at least a series?
Yeah, we're doing score.
It's like the Kelly questions.
Yeah,
get defined. Favorite movie. Favorite means one, not your favorite movies. Movie is singular. So,
thank you.
You want to have another shot of that, Ron? Before your score goes any lower?
I tell you. Okay, I think my favorite movie would be The Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Star Wars: Return of the Jedi.
Is that like?
I would have preferred to choose the entire original trilogy, but if I have to choose one, it would be Return of the Jedi.
Okay. And let's not pass over what your job is. You're a pastor in Missouri.
That's correct.
And so what's it like? Like empty churches, empty. You're just canceling everything, I guess.
It's interesting. Anything that involves a gathering of the public is pretty much off. It's kind of odd because we're in a small town, a rural town. We're 90 miles from any nearest city of any size. So the crisis part, the emergency part, really hasn't reached us yet. It's coming, but it hadn't gotten here yet. So we're kind of in this emergency mode without a local emergency, but we're trying to do what we're supposed to do nonetheless, so that hopefully we can prevent it from getting here. So we're not gathering, but doing a lot of our services and meetings via live stream and whereby whatever we can use for that. And then trying to see just where else we can fit in. Part of what we're trying to help facilitate some locally here is helping to get some supplies, especially food, to folks who are a lot of times dependent upon some resources that are not available, specifically senior citizens. Local senior centers that where normally a lot of those folks eat every single day, they're all closed down. So that's just one example of some things we're trying to help do and meet a few needs in the community that are unique to the particular situation.
Right.
But yeah, it's been interesting. It's been quiet around the office, but the phone rings all the time.
And people want to know when service is or help with local problems or
things that they could are needing help with, or there's a lot of teaming up of different resources from various agencies that may not always work together, but everybody's trying to work together right now just to try to get people the resources and the assistance that they need. And so we're trying to partner with them as much as we can through all of this.
And so has Ron's Trains and things, have the videos shut down, or is that still going on?
Quite the opposite. I mean, I've been busy with that, but I've also, all of the meetings, things that happen in the evenings, which are usually fairly plentiful, have all come to a screeching halt. Plus, my family's all at home. They're all in school in one form or another. So they're home. My daughter, who lives in Kansas City, is supposed to work from home. So she's working from my home. And what that means is I've had, some extra time in the evenings. I've actually been doing a lot of work and recording over the course of the past couple of weeks, and kind of getting ahead, which is a nice feeling because I usually feel like I'm behind. So
what have you been recording? Give us, what were you working on today?
Today, of course, I did some work around the house, which I know some of y'all saw as we were kept sharing on Facebook. But as far as model railroading today is, I'm doing right now. I'm working on weathering an N-scale locomotive, and so I was working on that some this afternoon. And I've also got a scratch-built structure project that I started a year and a half ago that I'm trying to get back to and finish. So, been working on those things the past couple of days.
And what he's talking about as far as working around the home, you're taking the stipple off one of your ceilings, aren't you?
Yeah, ultimately in the whole house, but we've been working on remodeling our kitchen for, I don't know, several months here. And took all that popcorn texture off and had to replace some drywall, had a little water damage. That's what I was working on today. And trying to get some of those kinds of things done while we're kind of confined to the house at times.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and when you were posting those pictures, I looked up at the ceiling and I went, "Yeah, I'm not taking that off."
Trust me, I'm beginning to understand how you feel.
All right, so Return of the Jedi, was that like which number? How far? Didn't that just come out? Return of the Jedi?
No, Return of the Jedi came out in 1983, and
was that the first? Was that the first one?
That was the third original movie, or episode 6 in the scheme of the whole series.
It's all very confusing. It's the third movie, but it's episode 6. It's all very confusing.
Well, it's the one where Darth Vader, his redemption story, but he dies, and they have the big party on Endor and the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, it's the one with it's a Star Wars movie. It's his favorite.
It's the one with the lightsaber.
Yeah, it's the one with Darth. It's the one with Darth Vader.
and R2D2 and C3PO.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
and what's his name? The little the gremlin.
Yoda.
Yeah.
Yoda.
The movie there is good.
There isn't. There is no try, only do.
Here's a little known story. Originally, AMC was going to name the car the Yoda, but they picked Gremlin instead. So
Start it won't.
You start it won't. What is that saying? There is no try. There's only do. No, what is that?
No, try not. Do or do not.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Do or do not. There you go. Yeah. And? Or is that it?
And?
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something else.
No, I don't think so.
Let's move on to the new. There you see, you did it again. What?
I was just going to say, unless you ask me something else. I wasn't gonna say something.
no, we're done with you now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're done with you now. Let's move on to the new guy. George, what's your favorite movie of all time? George?
You know what? I'm going to say... Oh, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say Top Gun.
Wow.
Danger Zone.
From 1986. 86? Okay, so you must be excited about the new Top Gun coming out.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Here's a little known fact, George, because your age demographic doesn't fit in with the standard NMRA demographic. It doesn't fit in with the standard NMRA demographic, but I think the model railroad demographic is very young. How old's your brother?
My brother is 24.
So your brother and you, that's, let me carry the 4. That's 51. And your dad's probably 50-something. We'll say 59 for argument's sake. So that makes the three of you guys add up to 100, which is an average age of 33. So it's a much...
I'm going to say his dad's 55.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Hang on. All right. So I say 59. Chris is 55. Kelly?
What's that?
Kelly's on mute.
Ron, would you like to throw in a guess?
I think Kelly being in Oregon is enjoying some of that fancy tobacco.
Wait a minute. That's coming sort of a Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we kept the marijuana, the pot stores open.
Yeah, liquor stores, beer stores, and pot stores.
Essential service.
Essential service. That's exactly right.
The pot stores are open here because they're agriculture.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The pot stores are open here because it's Canada.
That's all the reason you need.
Prince Edward Island tried to close theirs. That lasted at A. No. We're not going without booze and pot. Come on.
Hey, Ron, what do you think the age of George's dad is?
Yeah, probably mid 50s. I'll say 52.
All right. Hard part?
I would concur. Same with Ron.
All right. Bruce?
Mid 50s.
I would say 56.
Martin?
I'd go a 57.
So you think he's like 15 years younger than you? Okay, Kelly, you want to try again?
55.
All right. How old?
I already guessed 55.
How old's your dad, George? How old's your dad, George? Yeah, that's right. How old's your dad, George?
My dad is 70.
Oh!
right at the bottom edge of the NMRA demographic.
Kelly, you're the Place is Right and just go for the moon or something.
Yeah, exactly. You should have gone higher. All right, cool. So there you go.
So hard part needs to go talk to your dad because I see a lesson there about having kids.
That's just one more.
Come here,
reason to
son.
go
Let me tell you some stories.
Exactly.
So
she may look pretty to you now, but she will take everything you have.
That's right.
Yikes. Okay.
Lessons in life from Hard Part.
All right, so that's cool. That's Top Gun. All right, with Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise. You know what the problem with I have a bad memory of Top Gun because I remember going to buy a TV then, and every store you went into, they had to play Top Gun for you, but they didn't just play it regular. They had to play it at listen to these speakers at full volume.
Max volume, turn it up to 11.
Yeah.
So, how did you get turned on to Top Gun? Because this is a movie that came out well before you were born.
Yeah, so I've actually watched a lot of the older TV series and movies. Top Gun specifically was because I was actually an air cadet for 8 years, and of course, like that was like worshipped by everybody in my unit. So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I saw Top Gun for the first time when I was 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's been ingrained in my movie collection for a long time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you the question. I'll go back to Ron. I'm going to ask you the question. This is the last question we ask my prospective employees before they get hired. This question is like the one that you're either going to get hired. You've passed everything. We think you're well worth it, and then we ask you this question. There's no right answer. It's not a trick question. We just need to know your first answer. The first thing that pops into your head. What's your favorite all-time TV show? If you were stuck on a desert island and you could only watch one TV show, all the episodes, but one TV show, which would it be?
MASH.
That's a good one.
That's a good answer, yeah.
George?
Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, man. That's
wow. Now we're going another 10 years before his favorite movie.
Yeah. Hey,
you know what? There was I forget what it was called, but some time ago when I was in my early teens, there was a YouTube channel that was broadcasting all the old cop shows. So, I mean, I watched Starsky and Hutch, TJ Hooker. I'm trying to think of some other ones, but like there was a whole bunch. And I spent hours watching them, and it was wonderful.
I was going to say Nick at Night, but you're not old enough for Nick at Night. YouTube makes more sense.
Yeah.
Or MTV when they actually played music videos.
Oh, remember that? That was a long time ago.
All right, I'm going to blow your socks off with this, George. I'm going to blow your socks off with this. I can consider myself an acquaintance of David Soul.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, yes, true enough.
True enough. Yeah, exactly. I
all Canadians know each other.
Yeah. I don't think he's Canadian.
I think David Soul's American.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's a long story. We won't get into it, but I can call I actually had this conversation with David Soul. I know you. No, you don't. Yeah, I know you. No, you don't. It's a long story. We'll get into it someday. Okay, where we'll go. All right, hey, hard part. What's your favorite movie of all time?
It's from 1979, starring Peter Sellers and Shirley MacLaine.
Great. What's it called?
Which is it's called Being There.
Being There?
Yes.
Birdie Num Num.
What?
And Birdie Num Nums.
All right, somebody explain.
That is a good movie.
It is.
What's it about?
It's it takes place in Washington.
Is it a chick flick?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's one of those movies that is it's funny, but there are no punchlines.
Like it or you don't.
Yeah, it's about a person who grew up in a very sheltered life and who found himself out on the street late in life, and his only known contact with society up until that point was what he saw on TV. So he's trying to make his way through society and was in an accident and was kind of taken in by an extremely wealthy family with connections to the president. And people didn't know who he was or where he came from because he had no history. And he was considered a person who was wise beyond his years, but in reality was just a very simple person.
Isn't that Idiocracy?
Possibly, yes. I don't like to use that word. So it's a good movie. I would recommend it to everybody. And as Bruce says, you're either going to think it's fantastic or you're going to go, yeah, whatever.
No, there is a movie called Idiocracy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's about a guy that was in the Air Force. It was he was frozen on purpose. He volunteered, but they forgot about him, and then they unfreeze him 200 years later. And he's the smartest man on the planet because everything is deteriorated and watered down so much. So I wasn't trying to make fun of your movie. I was just saying there's another movie similar to that theme.
I thought that was Captain America. Oh, sorry.
Is that Captain America too?
Well,
yeah.
All right.
There's probably about 8 or 9 movies like that.
Yeah, it probably is. Okay. Being There.
Remake.
with Peter
Bingo.
Sellers and Shirley MacLaine. Wasn't Shirley MacLaine the one that was like she was in From Another Life, and she was pretty heavy into that?
Yeah.
She is.
Mhm.
Yeah, woo woo.
Yes.
Yeah. What'd you say? Somebody said woo woo?
Yeah, it's when somebody does new age stuff, they're woo woo.
Yes. That's an Oregon term, I think.
Yeah, we don't know that. You explain, please.
Oh, I know that one.
Okay.
That's why
Woo-woo, yeah.
All right, Chris, you explain. You like explaining things better than Kelly.
just what he said.
So if you're into living, because her whole thing was about she lived other lives.
Past life, right?
Yeah. And that's called woo woo.
Well, we call anybody that's like it's the stuff like crystals and past life and all these weird
So
new
like
age stuff.
All right, so like if you were in, all right,
woo-woo.
so if you were like
Woo-woo.
somebody that would lived in their parents' basement and you talked about aliens, that would be like woo woo.
No, that's totally
that'd be-
different.
That's
Oh.
a totally different type of woo woo.
All right, okay, I'm just trying to understand.
No, Shirley
That's
MacLaine
loopy.
believed in reincarnation.
Yeah, that's
Right.
yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand. Kelly's getting into this vague way of
I get
describing.
why I'm thinking Kelly's enjoying some
Yeah.
vegetation while this.
Yeah.
He's sampling agricultural products.
Having grasses abound.
Hard part. What's your favorite all-time TV
You just
show?
asked him. Oh, okay.
Mad Men.
Mad Men.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
That would be right up your alley, wouldn't it? You know, that's
absolutely.
because everybody knows that you're a successful, extremely successful salesman that travels about the country selling Harley Davidson boots.
Yeah, I was extremely successful up until about a week and a half ago. We're pretty much all not all dried up, but people are just being very cautious right now.
Yes, very
So,
good.
so as a salesman, Kevin, you must have heard of Jeffrey Gitomer.
Yeah, I have all of his books.
Oh yeah, they're great books, aren't they? The Little Red Book of Selling.
Yeah, it's a good read for people who need to sell, but are not salespeople.
Reason 12.5.
Exactly.
Why do you have it, Bruce?
Because years ago we had a guy come in and do a sales course for the company, and that was a book he talked about. And then one day, where was I? I was actually down in Lubbock, Texas, and I was killing time and wandered by a local bookstore, and they had it on sale there. So I bought a copy for everybody in our office.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
The Little Red Book of Sales, and he's got a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, he's an interesting guy.
There was a salesman guy too. My son watched a video of, and I thought we were
Les Nessman?
no,
Herb Garlick.
no.
The originator of social distancing.
Yeah, it was some guy that sold cars, and I thought my son was going to say this guy was full of hot air, and he says, and then he starts telling me about all this, how great this video was, and how it made a lot of sense to him. And the next month he sold, instead of selling 15 cars, he sold like 28, and I'm like, okay, I have no idea. I can't remember the guy's name. Okay, Chris, what's your favorite all-time movie?
So my favorite movie is from 1987, Full Metal Jacket.
Oh yes.
Oh,
And I famously own a lot of copies of this. I have one in VHS, one in DVD. I got one in HD DVD, which many of you have probably forgotten existed. I had the Blu-ray, and now, of course, I can stream it. So,
Yeah.
but that's a classic. I like that movie.
What's it about?
Vietnam.
Okay, yes, I remember. And who's it starring?
This is it.
Do you remember who's in it?
Well, it's a Stanley Kubrick movie, and Matthew Modine and Lee Emery, of course. Lee Emery, this is where he became famous for being Gunny, and the star really is. Let's see if I remember how to say his last name. Vincent D'Onofrio.
Okay.
D'Onofrio. He's in NCIS a lot now, but he had the real starring role in this movie up till right in the middle of the movie, and then suddenly he wasn't in the movie anymore.
Yeah, go pile.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's my favorite movie. There's lots of great movies, but that's the one that.
All right, and TV show.
So there's so many great TV shows. I had one picked out as a sitcom until Kevin mentioned his, and then I think I'm going to have to go with Breaking Bad. as a
That
great TV show.
I thought Breaking Bad was going to be a better show. I thought it was almost a great show, but for me, it kind of came up a little short. It does have one of the greatest scenes of all time in TV, as far as I'm concerned, or TV, I guess, in the garage scene, right towards the end, the last few episodes, where the brother-in-law finally, the two of them, the brother-in-law basically says, "It is you after all," and then what was the name of his character?
Walt
something or other. Yeah, Walt. Anyways, and he was also Heisenberg.
Walter White. His real name is Walter White, but they called him Heisenberg. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, he finally realizes that Walter White is Heisenberg, and he basically says it. And then Walter White goes, "Well, if that's true, I suggest you tread lightly, going for it."
I like the part where he's sitting on the toilet. The brother-in-law is sitting on the toilet looking at his notebook, and then he puts it together. Because we know all great things happens on the toilet. Right?
Yeah, that was where the better part of that series was towards the end.
Yeah.
Okay, Bruce, you're up, buddy.
I've got a bunch floating in my head, but the one I'll watch over and over and over again, and I also have the book on, is Apollo 13.
Yeah, that is a good movie. That's a very good movie.
And the book it's based on it's one of those things, you know what's going to happen. You know the outcome before you start, but you just drawn right into it. And I'll watch that over and over again. So it's and the book, I've probably read the book 15, 20 times, if not more.
All those movies about NASA have such spectacular videography of the launch scenes and so forth. That it's just breathtaking.
Well,
and that was Apollo 13 was just so well cast. I mean, they couldn't.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Well, and it's like it's all real. The whole thing is real.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's it. You know what's happening because you know the story of Apollo 13, but you get drawn right into it. You know where they're coming into re-entry. They're not getting contacted. They make it, but you're going, come on.
And even the scenes like where the scene. What was the name of the guy that ran the part on the ground? And what do they call it?
Oh, the Capcom?
Mission Control.
Mission Control.
Oh, crap. What's his name?
The white
Krantz. His last name is Krantz.
Krantz, yeah. Gene Krantz, wasn't it?
Gene Krantz, yeah.
Yeah, and I like the part in the movie where he goes, when he's explaining they got to make more oxygen. And he says, "Gentlemen, failure is not an option." And I saw 2 or 3 interviews where that's basically what he said. And then these guys, I like the whole 60s space flight program is basically, these guys built a program of flying to the moon and back from the seed of an idea, and they made it happen.
Yeah, and another great series that you're talking about that is I think it was From Earth to the Moon that Tom Hanks sort of put together, the story of the Apollo flights, and then there was another one as well. But there's some great stuff came out on Apollo. Fascinating.
Oh yeah, well, because
on the rocket launch scene, there's a number of videos on YouTube with cameras actually off the launch platform. It's documented by a bunch of engineers who actually work for NASA, and they go through all the different cameras and all the different shots and it's totally amazing.
Yeah.
I watched it.
To think of something that big can get going.
Yeah.
And go and, not blow up or something like some of the earlier ones did. And, there you go. You put a guy in the orbit and fire him off to the moon. It's amazing.
I saw one of the last shuttle launches at night, around 11 at night. They fired it away. And I think it was the second last launch. And I mean, it was just spectacular. We got a pretty decent spot in Titusville, which is right near Cape Canaveral. And I mean, we were probably 7, 8, 9, 10 miles away, and the thing takes off, and the sound literally doesn't get to you for like 10 or 15 seconds, and then it kind of like blow you. Whoa, it's pretty amazing.
I can't believe you didn't invite us all down for that.
Yeah. At that point, the podcast wasn't even an idea.
Wasn't even a gleam in his eye.
Yeah, kind of like George's dad at 35. George wasn't even
not even an afterthought.
Even
55 too.
Even at 40.
Okay, Bruce, what's your favorite all-time TV show?
The favorite one, there's two I would go to. The one I would go to, even though it was only a limited number of seasons, was Police Story with Leslie Nielsen in it, of course.
Yeah, I don't think it had many shows.
It was like 18 or some odd shows. That was it, but it's just hilarious. And then filling that, I go with Get Smart.
Yeah, well, you can only get one because you were yelling. You were yelling at Ron.
I know, I was yelling at Ron. Yeah. But no, you were talking movies. I'm talking TV shows. Totally different.
Well, you're only allowed one.
No, the Police Story ones with Leslie Nielsen, they're just hilarious.
Wasn't he Lieutenant
Sergeant Frank Dribbin?
Sergeant Frank Dribbin. Yeah.
And that's who Naked Gun, right? Sergeant Frank Dribbin.
Well, yeah, exactly. Then that morphed into and Martin, where were you born, Martin? South Africa?
I was born in South Wales in the UK, and then I grew up in South Africa. So,
all right, and now you're in Australia.
The only thing I have left is the accent, so I can talk like Peter Borchers if you want me to.
No, I don't. I can't. No, I'm good. Come on.
The bigger question is, how'd you wind up with an Australian accent?
Yeah.
Well, when you arrive out here and you mix with Australians, you need to sound like them. Otherwise, you're pointed out as being someone different.
So are you soldering right now?
I'm not soldering. No. I don't know what the L ever did to the American population to be ignored so much. I mean, the poor L that's in the word solder. I mean, you use the silent Q that's in that word. So
yes,
that's true.
Well, but likewise, it'd be simply the modern known as key.
Yeah, see, over here, if you solder something over here, the police will probably want to speak to you.
Oh, really? Yes, I imagine they would.
Solder, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we won't go there.
Yeah, all right.
Yep.
This is not AML prime time.
Why do you guys? Why does everybody else know stuff more than me? Why am I?
We'll explain it to you later.
Yeah.
For now, just keep going.
Okay. So, Martin, what's your favorite all-time movie?
Look, it's quite easy. I mean, being from British extraction and having a warped sense of humour, my favourite movie of all time would have to be The Life of Brian.
Oh, there you go.
I can watch that over and over again and still be in stitches.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're the People's Front of Judea or the Judea people. Whether you're the People's Front of Judea or the Judean People's Front, it doesn't matter. It's still funny.
Yeah. That's, I think, a movie that only boys enjoy, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a guy.
He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Yeah.
He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
I'm almost afraid to ask you what's your favorite all-time TV series show.
Well, it would be Monty Python's Flying Circus.
But yeah.
I would say that Doctor Who would pip that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So is it Doctor Who then?
I am a Whovian, yes.
Oh, you're a Whovian. Didn't they make Doctor Who a woman in the latest series?
Yep. Yeah. I haven't watched that one. I'm more of a Doctor Who from the 70s. John Pertwee and Tom Baker, who was the guy with the hat and the big scarf and used to hand out the jelly beans.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom Baker is like the classic Doctor Who in my mind. But...
Yep. That's Doctor Who to me, is John Pertwee and Tom Baker.
Okay, and I'll confess I've never watched Doctor Who. So.
I have never watched it either, ever.
It's brilliant.
The two show. I don't think I've watched 5 minutes of Doctor Who. Dr. Hugh.
That was on NBC's in the afternoon, wasn't he?
Yeah, Dr. Hugh was House.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And I don't think I've watched 5 minutes of Doctor Who, and I've probably only watched 10 minutes of Friends. Has anybody here watched Friends? I've never watched Friends. Every time it comes on, I'm like, I'm not interested in that.
I've seen every episode at least 10 times.
Really?
Yeah, same here.
It's on. We watched the series when it was on, and we were young, newly married. Watched it every week, and now it's on late night here, and I'll probably watch 2 episodes every night before I go to bed while I'm getting ready for bed. Yeah, I've seen them all a bazillion times.
I watched the entire series on Netflix, and I don't understand. It doesn't hold up at all.
Yeah, you might want to. You might, Ron. I might have to edit that part out for your sake.
Well, if it's better or if it's better or worse, I'm slowly replacing it with Big Bang because now I'm watching Big Bang Theory all the time. And
yeah, I like Big Bang Theory.
Soon to have seen all of them 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, George, how do you feel this is going?
Excellent.
Are you taking notes?
Copious.
Attaboy. Okay. Kelly, have you been paying attention?
Oh, yeah, I've been paying attention.
All right. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Animal House.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Excellent.
Yeah, good choice.
That was a classic.
It was a
Did we
classic.
give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
And the whole thing. Go ahead.
You know, one of my favorite lines comes from the movie where they were discussing the homecoming parade and they were in the mayor's office and Dean Wormer was there and the mayor goes, "If you would like a parade in my town, you must pay." and that line is appropriate to so many things in life.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
To an interview with Dan Aykroyd the other day, and he said he had a part in Animal House, but he didn't think he could leave Saturday Night Live after so many people had left it to go film Animal House that he stayed and gave the part to somebody else.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Or those early days of Saturday Night Live, you'll never replace those.
They were the best.
Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger.
Pepsi.
Yeah.
No Coke.
Yeah.
No Coke. No Coke.
We're too wild and crazy, guys.
Yeah, that was funny too. Okay, Kelly, what's your favorite all-time TV show?
For me, it's now Days of Summer Wine. British comedy.
That's a good series.
Now?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But I just got
Last Days of Summer Wine.
The last of the summer wine.
Yeah.
Is it what they call it? Days of Summer Wine now.
Why does that sound like a chick flick?
Yeah,
No,
kidding.
it's not a chick flick. It's not.
It's hysterical.
It is. Smiler. Smiler's the one of the great guy.
Oh, Smiler, and then
the old guy is chasing the chick all the time.
What's it? Is it like
It's basically it's in I gotta remember what Wales, I think.
Yes.
And is it now? Like, is it like out now, or is it from 20 years ago, or
probably 20 years ago?
Okay.
It was broadcast on BBC from 1973 to 2010.
There you go.
Yep.
And went to.
All right. Cool. All right. So, do we have any other questions?
And they walk all over town.
It's filmed in Yorkshire.
And they walk.
West Yorkshire.
They walk all over what?
Yorkshire. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of friends wandering around town getting into situations.
Oh, okay.
And that's funny.
What's new, Kelly? Kelly, what's new in your life? Kelly?
I just let you guys know my internet is screwing right
I
now.
think that's another way of saying, what are you in charge of now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Microtrains furloughed everybody, or
Am I keeping you up?
Down to 20 half.
Am I keeping you up, Kelly?
No, no. My internet is breaking up.
Oh, okay.
Microtrains is down to half force now. They laid off 26 people, me included.
Wow.
Well, they
sorry to hear
had
that.
they had 50.
Campbell's is still going because there's only one. There's only two of us up there, and we're only up there one person at a time.
You know, it's just
So
well, I guess part of it's the rules and whatnot, but it seems like Microtrains especially has so much business of collectors of Microtrains that they would be buying the Microtrains, whether because I think last time you mentioned that because the train shows have shut down that they don't have as much business, but gosh, I would think Microtrains of any company would be into that.
When the two biggest customers they have are the type of biggest customers they have are customers that are vendors that sell at train shows and stuff. So that's
interesting.
I want to say 20%, but I'm not sure. Joe would know more than that than I would about that.
Well,
but it's a big chunk of business. And now with the virus, they have to separate people, so it's kind of hard to have people working together next to each other that close.
I think D'Amato told me he's always got to separate you.
Oh yeah,
Kelly doesn't play well with others.
No, I don't.
So who all here thinks the NMRA National Convention is going to survive in St. Louis in, what is it, early July? Middle of July?
I'm thinking it's 40-60 right now.
Yeah,
that sounds.
Yeah, I'd have to agree
I
with
reckon
Bruce.
they'll cancel a week out.
Well,
maybe
just
30-70.
well, just like everything else, they're in a state of denial, and they will realize until it's way too late that they missed their mark.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's.
Well, I saw that NERPM got canceled, and it's in May, and I mean they're canceling it now.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we proceed down the path that we're on, and I'd say there's a fair chance. I'm gonna have to agree with Bruce. I'd say it's a 40-60 split, and 60 not in favor of it.
Yeah.
So Lionel and Bruce, you guys had some. I don't know, what was your involvement with the Toronto NMRA and what happened with it?
I'll tell you what my involvement was. I was doing tours, the operating sessions of the OPSIG, and it was what about a week? Lionel can say, but it was about a week before that all the manufacturers started pulling out because SARS was ripping through Toronto at the time.
Right.
Yeah. So the convention went ahead. It was like a big regional convention, and they kind of Mickey Mouse train show together because they did something. But that's the only national I've been to, and I said yes, but it wasn't a real national. It was like a big regional convention. There's some good clinics and stuff I saw, and everybody had a good time at the operating sessions. But it was one of those things that once the manufacturers started pulling out the train show, that was about it.
Depending on who you talk to, they'll tell you there was one person responsible for ruining the whole thing.
Yes.
Oh, was his name Lionel, or was it somebody?
Yeah, no, it was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's all his fault because
what is it you always say? I don't want you hanging around with that string boy anymore.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I'll be hanging around that string kid at the convention.
So I think what year was it, Bruce?
2003.
All right. So then.
Holy cow, was it that long ago?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And to be fair, the next year, was the next year. When was Detroit? It was shortly. I think Detroit was the next year or the year after. But Detroit did step up and offer to let the Canadian group have their spot if they wanted to, if they wanted to cancel 2003.
Which would have been would have been the smart thing to do, of course.
Yeah.
So what happened was, go ahead, George. Were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
Somebody was going to say something. So what happened from me? What happened was, so it was like I don't know, maybe 3 years or 4 years into writing my column for Model Railroader. So I was well embedded into the Kalmbach lifestyle, the Kalmbach institution. And I don't know how far ahead they asked me. I forget, maybe a week, maybe two. Anyways, whoever was the editor at the time, I think it was Andy. And my wife was actually a volunteer at the local hospital, and she was telling me, how bad it was. And so Andy calls me up one day, and he says, "So, what do you think we should do? Should we come to Toronto for the SARS convention?" And I'm thinking, well, don't be putting this on me. It's like I said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, we're thinking of not going, but you're right there. What's it like? And it was like right around the time my wife came home, and they were telling her, we were having a discussion. I don't think she should go anymore because it was getting really, really bad. And so I said to Andy, I said, well, if it was me, I wouldn't go. And the next morning, the Model Railroader canceled, and once Model Railroader pulled out, it was just like the NBA pulling out of canceling their schedule. Once Model Railroader pulled out, everybody pulled out.
Everybody.
And it was all my fault because I told the guys at Model Railroader. And you can still find people that'll tell you it was my fault.
Yeah.
But look how many lives you saved, Lionel.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I've got a question. Who threw out being there? Was that Kevin?
Yes.
Here's another one, another Peter Sellers flick, The Mouse That Roared.
I have not seen that.
You haven't seen that? Oh, look that one. The Grand Duchy of Fenwick. It's a classic.
What's it about?
The premise is this country that's going bankrupt, and they figured the only way that they can get out of it is if they go declare war on the U.S. and then they'll surrender, and the U.S. will, send them all sorts of money to rebuild and stuff like that. But it's a hilarious flick.
So was Kelly? Did you answer the NMR? I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring you, Bruce. I just got bored.
Yeah, and the horse you rode in on.
Yeah, exactly. So Kelly, did you finally tell us what you thought was going to happen with the NMRA convention?
No, I didn't. I think 60-40 too, because they don't know how long this whole thing's going to last, and it's only getting worse. So
you mean like 58-42, or you mean 60-40 as well?
60-40.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I would probably lean more towards them canceling or postponing it or something. Well, canceling it. So.
They'd have to cancel. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
You know what? They'd be better off canceling it, and then if by the time the show rolls around, then things are quieted down, better that, and everybody gets better, and we move on to next year, then run it and risk making it worse.
I bet they wait and find out if the hotel can even have it, because if the hotel can't have it, they probably will get some money back.
Yeah, that's true.
And not have to eat that money.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care whether they have it or not, because I can't get out of the country anyway. If I was going to come now, I'd better go out there and start swimming.
Yeah, but you don't know.
Really.
You don't know if you'll be able to get out of the country by then. That's a long way.
July's a long way off.
Yeah.
Qantas have already cancelled my airfare. So
did they cancel it?
Yeah. I've got Qantas credits now for the airfare, and all travel's been banned till the end of April, basically. And then the government might lift the ban on travel in the country.
So they canceled They canceled your airfare in July already?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
So my American flights to Britain at the end of May are still good. I mean, they haven't canceled that yet. So.
No. Yeah, but that's going to Britain.
Wow, that's shut down.
That's like one of the major airlines in Canada parked all their planes for 30 days.
Yep. Yeah, Air Canada parked like 75% of its fleet.
Well, WestJet completely shut down.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All of Qantas have shut down. There's 150 Qantas planes on the ground, and all of Virgin Australia is shut down as well. So you look at Flight Radar, and there's nothing over the Pacific except a couple of local Fijian Airways flights going between the islands, and that's it.
I got an interesting question for you guys. You guys are a brain trust. You can help me with this question.
I'll get the next question.
Oh dear.
I'll wait for the
I was actually thinking of putting this on Facebook and making a message and even maybe a little video. So there is somebody in New Zealand whose name is Lindsay James Strang. And I keep getting their email because my email is LJStrang. And they're somehow, whoever it is, maybe has juxtaposition or something. And I keep getting their email. And the last one I got today was about their South China flight being canceled. And I'm thinking, well, that actually sounds reasonably important to me, like as if I should try to figure out how the person could get their email. So it's like, what is the person's name here? Let's see. Don't tell me. Let me guess. I found the email. Yes. The person's name is Lindsay John Strang. Believe it or not, there's a Strang in New Zealand. And their flight, dear passenger, South China Airlines, we regret to inform you your economy class flight is on passenger name Lindsay John Strang with ticket numbers blah blah blah, scheduled from Hanoi on April 30th with takeoff time has now been canceled. I don't know how am I. I've had other emails for this person that weren't that important, like the local church. The dinner was canceled, or bringing some potatoes or something. And,
you know what town he lives in New Zealand?
I don't know anything about the person.
Oh, you just know he's in New Zealand somewhere.
Yeah, like I've gotten other emails, and it's New Zealand, and I don't.
Do you have any idea what his actual email address is?
No, I don't have any idea.
What I would suggest, Lionel, is I would look up what the most popular email providers are in New Zealand, because they're probably just getting it the .com or something wrong, or the something like that.
I bet he's right. I bet it's the same. I bet it's whatever Lionel's using, which is the large email provider, and they just have the initials wrong or something.
Yeah.
Like
Hey guys, this is New Zealand. They only got the telephone last week.
so Lionel, I have the exact same problem. Except that the guy that I get his emails, he lives about an hour and a half from me, which is just blows me away that he lives in East Texas.
Yeah.
And I get all these emails for Terry Atkins, and it's all about his goat club. And I mean, like, these
That's
guys
one of your
go on
aliases.
it's
Come
all
on.
this back and forth about his goat club. I guess he's an officer in this goat club.
You sure
And,
he's not Mildred's brains?
They're coming, it's all about they're getting together and they're showing their goats at at the Texas Fair, or they're going here or there. Well, so I mean, I just let them go, and I see the obvious problem is that my Gmail address is my first two initials, which is no secret. Chris is my middle name, so it's T.C. Atkins, and he's undoubtedly just T. Atkins, but somehow they're getting his middle my in there and whatever, and so I didn't think anything of it, and then one day I get hotel reservation confirmations, and here's your key, and I'm like, I could go in there and get in his room because he can't be bothered to give them his actual email address.
There's a Lindsay Strang who's a doctor in New Zealand.
Okay.
Very on West Coast.
Dr. Strang,
Paging Dr. Strang.
Dr. Strang Love.
There's the name of this podcast episode.
What's that?
Dr. Stranglove.
Hey, what picture should I use for this? I need a.
We'll have to find some James Bond picture and do a little Photoshop action on it.
Yeah, I haven't got that kind of time, buddy. It's like bring him in, put him out, buddy.
Dr. Stranglove, how I learned to stop worrying about the NMRA.
For that.
Yeah, what's that, Bruce?
Yeah, exactly.
Would be the guy for that.
Dr. Stranglove, how I learned to stop worrying and love the NMRA.
That's right.
Yeah, George is going to fit right in. I didn't say I needed a title. I said I needed a picture.
Oh, gotcha.
Big difference.
Will Pussy Galore be in it too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Asking for a friend.
What's your favorite song of all time? Hard part.
Favorite song?
Yeah.
I still haven't found what I'm looking for by U2.
That's a good one.
But you still haven't found you still haven't found what you're looking.
Still haven't found what I'm looking for.
But
He sings that while he's looking for fixtures amongst his collection.
Yes.
I know. Which ones don't I have?
Yeah. How many fixtures do you have? How many actual fast tracks fixtures do you actually have?
I don't know. It's over 30.
He says, "Don't lower your voice. Don't lower your voice.
Track.
You know how Tim can afford to buy a new CNC machine.
Yeah, be proud.
Yeah.
Be proud.
Yeah.
I am proud.
Okay.
And there's a couple more in the works right now.
I've got the Australian versions of the fixtures. They're made out of aluminium.
I'm convinced that model railroading is just a side hobby, and my real hobby is trying to find crap I've lost.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I spend almost all of my time during my work nights trying to find the tools or whatever it is I can't find.
And then as soon as you go out and buy it, within 20 minutes of getting back home, you find it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you know the hobby.
I've
done the same with kits. I've bought that McDonald's store, I think, about 3 times, and every time I come back home and open the cupboard and go, "Oh, I've already got that."
Yeah, I've learned before I go to shows, I take pictures of my bookshelf, so that way, all my books are there, and then I'll do a quick rundown of like what kits I have. So then, when I'm standing in front of a table and you see something, you can just go, "Oh, hang on, let me refer back," and that strategy has worked well.
Yeah, but you're much more dapper than everybody else.
But that only works if you're not a blue tub modeler. If you're a blue tub modeler, then there's no hope.
Yeah. I was going to ask you. Hey George, do you have any fast tracks fixtures?
I don't, but you know what? I have to give Kevin credit because I've known Atlas Flex Track and commercial turnouts my whole life, but Kevin champions fast tracks so much, and they have such good products that I'm seriously considering getting fixtures and making my own turnouts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm being converted.
And
don't worry, you'll buy a resistant soldering iron next.
Oh yeah, then you got to get a resistant soldering iron. Yeah,
of course.
What's it for? A resistance? What's iron?
Soldering iron for when you solder with solder. And you cannot solder aluminium.
I think Australians just like to put extra L's in all the words.
Go ahead, Ron.
I said, I think Australians just like to put extra L's in all their words.
Do they? I don't know. I've never noticed that, but I guess so.
No, it's a British thing. Same with the U in honor and color.
I have never heard a Brit. I've never heard a Brit go solder. You have
solder.
You have a unique. You have a unique accent to anybody. You have.
Well, if I talk to my parents, I'll speak in a Welsh accent. You see, and I'll talk like this, boyo. You know, we're going down the valleys, and we're going to have a few bevies tonight, and that's it. And watch the rugby.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Is that like nails on a chalkboard, Ron?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere you can go and sound like a native speaker, though? I'm sure when you go to Wales, you sound like you're just as foreign as you could be.
Actually, yes. When I go back to South Wales and we meet the family, because they all speak Gaelic over there.
Oh, excellent.
And basically they'll turn around and look at each other and say to my father, "What the hell's he saying?"
Yeah. Do they have the thing like a gal talk in Wales, like they do in Ireland, or?
Yeah, it's Welsh is basically Gaelic.
Right, but do they have an area where they basically I don't know how you it's kind of like where all the schools and everything are speaking Gaelic.
Yep, yeah. When you go to Swansea further into South Wales, it's all the road signs are in Gaelic, all the shop signs are in Gaelic. They teach Gaelic at the school.
Yeah, Andy Dixon's son is in school in Wales, and they're learning Gaelic.
Yeah.
So in Ireland, they call that area Gaeltacht. I don't know if they have a name like that in Wales.
They call it downtown.
So we still haven't solved the problem of what picture I should use for the cover photo of this particular podcast.
We're only about halfway through the favorite shows and movies, so I guess we got some time.
Yeah, we're through them all. We asked everybody.
Yeah. Oh, did we?
Yeah, we
Here's
asked
your picture.
Yeah, that is a high quality photograph.
I didn't see it. I was busy doing something else.
Sorry.
Show it again.
Replay.
He's frozen. Oh, there you go. Okay, there you go.
So what about you, Al? You didn't say yours.
My what?
Favorite movie? TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know what your favorite TV show is.
What's that?
Green Acres.
It is, but you know what? I think just very recently, and I can change. If I had to give a serious answer about my favorite TV show of all time, absolute all time, Green Acres is now second in my serious answer because my favorite TV show of all time is called All Creatures Great and Small.
Yes, James Herriot.
Yes.
Yep.
The veterinarian in Yorkshire.
Who also became the fifth Doctor Who.
Oh, did he really?
He did.
Yep. That's what put me off Doctor Who after Tom Baker. Was he became the Doctor, and every time I watched Doctor Who, it reminded me of All Creatures Great and Small.
How many years did All Creatures Great and Small go? Like 6 or 7 or 8, didn't it?
Yeah, about that.
And it was a PBS show on in North America, was it not?
It showed on PBS North America, yeah.
Yeah, but all the BBC stuff shows up on PBS, right? So I wonder if it was a BBC show.
It was.
Oh, it was a BBC show.
It was originally, yeah.
Yeah, let me look it up here. So,
started in 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
How many episodes?
So in 1975, it was a film. That's what I was remembering too.
And
The series, the 75 is a film. The 77 BBC took it over. 2 runs, 78 to 80, and then 88 to 90. We're both reading Wikipedia. 90 episodes in total.
90 episodes. Wow. What a spectacular show. What a spectacular show.
Oh, it's a great show.
Yeah, they were very easy to watch and very drew you in. And
yeah,
my favorite show of all, my favorite episode of all was somebody that I believe they lived by themselves, some farmer or something. Anyways, his dog got sick and it was very sad. And James said, "Well, there's nothing he could do." So then the farmer says, "Well, can you at least put him out of his misery?" So James put the dog to sleep. And the dog slept for like a day or a day and a half and then started to get better again. So James, because it was the 30s, so they were learning as they went on the fly.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's a great show. It's all about animals and stuff like that.
The books are very good reads, too.
Yes, the books are very good reads. Although
I think I've read it because the title's familiar with me. But you know, the interesting about the 70s is we only had one TV station, and it definitely wasn't PBS. You know, it was... So there's a lot of the 1970s TV shows that I don't know anything about because we didn't have those channels.
Yeah, well,
where did you grow up?
Yeah,
Northern Wyoming. So we got one TV station out of Rapid City, South Dakota, and sometime around 1980 or so, it changed from being a CBS affiliate to an NBC affiliate. So that's the other thing is that for a long time, like all the shows that we would have watched before when they were CBS, they just went away.
So you didn't have cable back then?
No, we didn't get cable until well in the 80s.
Oh, Kelly left. Kelly left. His internet's not working. And my favorite movie of all time is Great Last American Hero, which is a bit of an obscure movie about Junior Johnson. It starred Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges. And I forget who the woman was in it. And Jeff Bridges and his brother. No. Who was the guy? Oh, no. What's his name? The crazy guy that reminds me of myself.
Bo Bridges?
No. The guy that's he fell off his motorcycle and bumped his head, and now he's a crazy guy.
James Dean.
No.
No, he crashed his Porsche.
Yeah. I'm going to look it up here. He's not. Doesn't really remind me of me. 1973 was Last American Hero, starring. Let's see. Here we go. It is starring Gary Busey.
Oh, Gary.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that explains so much.
That explains it. Yeah.
And Valerie Perrine. So that was who she. So it was Jeff Bridges, Valerie Perrine, and Gary Busey. Do any of you guys remember The Last Picture Show?
Yeah, I think so.
That was a good movie too. Let's see. Last American Hero only gets a 3-star rating and 6.4 out of 10. I don't agree with that. But on Prime Video, it gets 4.5 stars. And Rotten Tomatoes, it gets 4 stars. It's all right. So that's not bad.
So he's doing oval track racing. Is that the deal?
Yeah, Junior Johnson was.
What kind of car is he driving there?
Junior Johnson is a famous NASCAR driver, but it's about his early years, and
moonshine runner, and almost the founder of NASCAR. Really?
Yeah, well, he was one of. Yeah, he typified what NASCAR was, but what it came from was it was written by from a story in Esquire magazine by Tom Wolfe. Tom Wolfe went down there to write an article about him for Esquire magazine, and that's where the movie came from. And then it's got the song "I Got a Name," sung by Jim Croce, which is one of my favorites. Not my all-time favorite. My all-time favorite song is.
It's almost like
that'd be Bobby Goldsboro, wouldn't it?
No, no, not even close. My all-time favorite song is "Give Me Some Lovin'" by the Spencer Davis Group. Walking away. Got a lot of seconds, but that's if I got to pick one, that's it. Hey, George, what's your favorite all-time song?
Ooh, favorite all-time song. I'm gonna have to go with "Photograph" by Def Leppard.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Let's see. I was 16 when that album came out. So that must have been 20 years before you were born.
10. Was it 83? Or was it earlier than that?
Later than that, but
yeah.
I was thinking 86.
I remember when that song came out. You weren't even born, boy. I tell you, I'll smack you. Hey, Martin, you were a drummer in a band. What's your favorite all-time song?
Oh, it would have to be something stupid like I Want to Be Straight by Ian Dury and the Blockheads.
What was your favorite song to play?
Favorite song to play would probably be Radar Love by Golden Earring.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Which, as a drummer, actually gives you something to do during the song instead of just sitting there, keeping the backbeat going all the way.
How did you?
Yeah, that's got a great drum line in it.
Yeah. How did you end up being a drummer?
Well, you should hear me sing.
There you go.
That's how I ended up being a drummer.
It's annoying enough to listen to you talk. Never mind sing.
Oh, dear. No.
Hey, Chris?
Yes.
Sorry, Martin. I was just going to say I efforted, and it was February 3rd, 83, so 10 years before I was born.
Okay.
Ooh, did you hear that? He efforted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice one, George.
Wasn't it you, Lionel, who was talking about we needed some AML jargon not that long ago?
Yes, it was. Where we were talking about that. Somebody we were talking about. When we were talking to Tracy Boyd.
Yeah.
And we were talking about flying jargon. You know, the only question I didn't ask her that's bugging me still. So what's today? Today's Saturday. I think her interview played on Thursday. The only question I wanted to ask her, and I forgot to, which is driving me nuts, is she said she lived in a crash pad in Baltimore, which is where pilots and flight attendants live between flights and stuff like that. And I said, and I'm thinking, well, that's odd. How did they manage to come up? How did flight attendants and pilots and people in the airline industry end up coming up with the term crash pad? Yeah, you might not want to be telling everybody that. I thought that was a lot funnier than it was funny.
If I had to take a guess, it's probably because between the time they opened the door to the time they hit the bed's probably about 3 seconds.
Yeah, yep. I wasn't really looking for an explanation, George.
Oh.
I was
learn that Lionel's questions are rhetorical.
Yeah. Like planes have a tendency to fall out of the sky. They crash. So I'm thinking, well, that's odd. They've come up with the name crash pad. I understand, George, that they were going there and they were sleeping. I get that. This kid's annoying me already. He's going to fit in perfect.
Oh, God. I'm doomed.
Nobody can annoy me as much as Martin.
Thank you.
Hey, hard part, what's your favorite all-time song?
You already asked me, but I'll...
Oh, did I? I apologize.
Yeah,
I apologize.
And I just want to say it's after 9 o'clock and I'm still here. So there you go.
Yes, I noticed that. Yeah, and that's right. It's also after...
I have not left.
It's after 10 o'clock. Okay, we'll take that as a hint. All right. Hey, George.
No, not at all.
All right. Ron, what's your favorite all-time song?
Well, I've been sitting here thinking about that since you've been asking everybody. I got pretty eclectic musical tastes, but I would say my all-time favorite would be an old jazz standard, the song Misty, as sung by Sarah Vaughan.
Wow.
Oh.
That's deep catalog there.
That's good stuff.
Welcome to Deep Cuts on the AML.
Hits and memories.
Who did I not ask their favorite song to? Anybody? I don't think. Did I not? I didn't ask you?
No.
Oh.
Neither of us.
All right, Chris, go.
Oh, that's kind of like picking your favorite child, but I would have to say my favorite song is from an Australian band called AC/DC called Back in Black.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
As a side note, I actually went, when Back in Black was released, I actually went to the Back in Black tour at the Melbourne
That's because you're
Music Centre and saw the very first concert of the album.
Wow, that would have been awesome.
Did you get a T-shirt?
I do have a T-shirt here somewhere, original AC/DC one, but I remember seeing those as well in a couple of... AC/DC was probably one of the first bands I ever saw in a local pub in Melbourne. To see a band that most people only ever saw in stadiums in a pub that holds 200 or 300 people.
That had to have been the early to mid-70s then.
Yeah, it was late 70s.
You know how you can improve that story, Martin?
How's that?
When you started to tell it, this is what I was hoping you were going to say. Yeah, I went to Melbourne to watch them play, but just before they went on stage, their drummer tripped and broke his arm, and they were desperate for a drummer, so they yelled out, is there anybody here that's a drummer? And you put up your hand, and then you ended up playing, and you did so well. You were actually the one playing the drums on the original recording. That would have been a much better story.
Even a better Def Leppard story, because the drummer is famously one-armed.
That's right, yeah.
George, you sound like you know a lot of stuff.
No, I don't know anything.
He fits right in.
I'm a clueless individual.
You're probably great at Trivial Pursuit.
Probably. Well, I can't remember the last time I played it, but maybe. We'll see.
A whole bunch of useless stuff then.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me.
I want him on my team. He knows a bunch of crap. Yeah.
Ask me like 10 questions about the same topic. Useless. Ask me one question about 18 topics. Perfect.
There you go.
Who won the 1967 Stanley Cup?
Oh! I know.
Was it Toronto?
There you go.
That a boy.
Hey,
so
it was
FYI,
it was a black and white answer.
It's all right. I was going to say Stanley.
Yeah. If you're ever asked a hockey question on the AML, and if you say Toronto, you'll be right 85% of the time.
That's about right. Yeah, that's a fair. Hey, how about
that question? That question was less about sports than it was about psychology, right?
Yeah, it was.
If you have another hockey fan on the team, Lionel will throw questions about their team at them just to see if he can trip them up.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Ottawa Senators. Does anybody care?
No.
No, but I remember hearing some Penguin questions when the Young Gun was on.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember that. Bruce, what's your favorite song?
I'm going to throw a real curveball at you here and go with Beethoven Piano Concerto No. 5, The Emperor.
There you go.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
I love the vocals on that song.
Yeah, and the electric guitar.
And he saw him on tour as well.
I know. Not the Trans-Siberian Orchestra version.
It was great when Beethoven toured Canada, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see that three necked bass he was using? Like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
All right.
And the pyrotechnic show was amazing.
We ran out. So next time somebody asks you a AC/DC question, Martin, you know what to do. In this day and age, you don't have to go with facts. You just have to. You just have to sound like you know what you're talking about.
Like a clipboard and a confident wave.
A clipboard and a confident wave, man. I've done a lot of stuff with a clipboard and a confident wave. A confident wave is look like you got someplace to go.
You got sandwiches from Carl Edwards.
I did. I got sandwiches from Carl Edwards. I did a lot of things. Okay. Hey, George, do you know what our email address is?
I do know what our email address is.
Go for it, buddy.
Okay, if you want to contact us by the medium of email, you can write to us at modellerslife@gmail.com. That's modellerslife, like with one L, like national, and not two L's, like valley.
Wow. That was pretty good.
For a first
not bad.
That wasn't bad.
That was pretty darn good. I think so. We had the L and the L's set up.
Yeah, he did pretty good for first time out of the chute.
Yeah, exactly. And
the kid's got potential.
Yeah, the kid's got potential.
The kid's got spunk.
Thanks for making us look bad, George.
Yeah.
If Kelly was here, he'd be sighing.
It's lucky he didn't ask me what it was.
All right. Well, you don't.
All right, go ahead, Martin.
Well, it's a modeller's life spelt incorrectly with one L, as opposed to spelled correctly with two L's.
But of course, if you'd ever listened to the podcast, you know that's why we go through that whole rigmarole.
I know.
I told you Australians liked extra L's and everything.
Yeah, we love L's.
The hell with that.
It's two L's.
We even had a model called L.
Yes.
Elle Macpherson.
Yes,
the body.
Did. Oh, yeah.
You know, I actually sold her a pair of boots.
There you go. Now you see.
There's a big story coming out.
See, that's how the stories
you
are
sold her or you soldered?
Yeah.
I soldered her a pair of boots at the Sturgis rally in Rapid City, South Dakota.
How long ago was that?
That was probably 2014 or 2015.
Okay. And she came into the Rapid City Harley Davidson, which is a pretty nice Harley Davidson.
She did, and we got advance notice that Elle McPherson was in the building, and she came over, and if we didn't have any advance notice, she looked just like everybody else, striking, but it just had jeans on, had a hat, her hair was pulled up, so you wouldn't necessarily recognize her right away. And just like anyone else famous, you treat them like everybody else, and don't fawn all over them, and there you go.
Tips for handling famous people. Yeah, well, next time I show up, you can fawn all over me.
Hey, when you did come out to Rapid City to visit me while I was out there during the rally, we had an epic evening together.
We had an epic evening, and I'm thinking I'm going to ride to Sturgis this year. That's my plan.
Well, I hope they even have it. It's the optimism isn't too good at the moment. I'm sure something will go on. It'll just be on a more limited basis.
I'm going anyways, regardless, because if they don't have it, it'll be an even better ride.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's almost exactly the same distance. It's about it's about 4,800 kilometers, so it's just under 3,000 miles.
Yep.
From my house in Florida out to Sturgis and back to my place in just north of Toronto. And you never touch the same piece of pavement twice. Perfect.
Oh, so that means that you have to shuttle a bike from one place to the other, right? Because don't you have a Canada bike and a Florida bike?
No, I have two motorcycles that happen to live wherever they happen to be at the time.
Oh, okay.
And my newer bike right now is in Florida, and that's probably the one I'll ride to Sturgis. Because it goes like snot. Because it had the motor rebuilt, and it just zips right along.
When is Sturgis?
Usually the first week of August.
August.
So, maybe the border be back open by then. You don't know.
Yeah, there's that problem too. But I think the border will be open in a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks.
I think definitely by the time summer comes along.
Border will be reopened before the end of April.
I don't think so.
I understand. I understand that, Bruce. But the great thing about a democracy is we're all entitled to our own opinions. Yeah. And I think the border will be open before the end of April.
I'm thinking June 1st, but I'd like to also see the end of April. That'd be great.
Yeah, because you want to get to Canada, right?
Hell yeah! You guys,
come on up here, man. Weather's fine.
I don't think
snow's gone.
I don't think the border being open is quite as important to you as it is to me.
Yeah, I don't own any property at a place I can't get to.
Yeah. When was the last time you were in Canada?
Was it 2 years ago? Went up to BC.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
We're in BC.
Remember, I got the Canada shirt. Well, I think I took a bunch of pictures and stuff, and you guys commented on it. But we went up to. What we did was we had to go to a family reunion for my wife's family in Spokane, and I was a little perturbed because it seems like we've been doing that just about every year. And so I said, okay, fine, I'll go. But the only way we're going to go is we're going to go up there to BC and see some of the places we went on our honeymoon. So we did that. We went up to Vancouver, and then we went over to Victoria and up the island a ways. And on our honeymoon, we went as far north as Nanaimo, but I don't think we got that far. But we definitely caught the British Columbia Logging Museum up there, which is one of the highlights of my honeymoon.
I remember you telling us that, and I said you took your wife to the Logging Museum on your honeymoon. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, and she didn't go in, and you did, right?
No. We both went in. But I was sitting there watching those old black and white movies of those guys climbing the trees and topping them, and then standing on top of the flat tree, 150 feet in the air, and that was just. I was just in awe. It was the most amazing thing. So anyway, she enjoyed the logging museum. She likes stuff like that generally.
Okay.
She just doesn't want to do more than one train trip per vacation, and then she got to draw the line somewhere.
That's fair.
So had a good time in Canada as always. And
I mean, if you're going to visit, BC is an awesome place to go.
It's actually the only place I've been in Canada and I've been there several times. Because I went to college in Idaho and it was accessible.
That's right. You used to go for the beer or something. No, who was that went for the beer? Somebody else had to go for beer. I forget who it was.
Someone said beer?
Yeah, somebody.
You have my attention.
I'm gonna guess 0 on this particular question. Ron, how many times have you been to Canada?
1. I actually spent a whole summer in Canada. 1987.
That's right.
I spent 6 weeks in
Really?
Winnipeg.
In Winnipeg, in Winterpeg.
Exactly. Yeah. Where the high on the 4th of July was 52 degrees, and they took us to what they called a beach on the southern end of Lake Winnipeg and dared us to go jump in. I was smarter than that.
Wait, do they have the 4th of July in Canada?
No, but it was
we just skip over it.
Skip.
They have the 4th of July every year.
Yeah, July 3rd and getting right to July 5th, none is July 4th.
You guys skip from July 1st just directly to July 5th.
The last 5 years.
I'm pretty sure they jumped from July 3rd to like January 15th. Because it was the most stinking cold summer I ever spent anywhere.
Well, it was cold, and the mosquitoes probably weren't too bad.
Yeah, well, that's true. The mosquitoes weren't bad. But
mosquitoes in Winnipeg are wicked.
First couple of days we were there was nice, and then like this rainy cold front came through, and for the next 2 weeks it was like the high was like 47 degrees in July, and I wore every piece of clothing I took with me every day.
So I'll tell you, we've already hit 90 here, and there's times that 47 degrees in July sounds like a blessing to me.
I understand that, so I do get. I did live where you live at one time too, so I do get.
So
that.
what were you doing in Winnipeg for a summer?
I worked. I volunteered. Had a volunteer internship with a church up there for a summer.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny because there was a guy who was in Winnipeg, but he was from Dallas Fort Worth, and was pastor of church up there, and I worked with him for 6 weeks that summer. Yeah, and we got to do a lot of cool tour. There's this neat tourist stuff there. It was really, really fascinating. The home of the Hudson's Bay Company, and I don't know what all, but anyway, it was interesting. It was fun.
Winterpeg.
You know what, Lionel? You probably would be irritated at me if I brought it up later, but one thing that I forgot to mention some time ago was that I've been to the States a handful of times, but I took one big road trip around the Great Lakes in 2010, and I spent most of my time in Wisconsin. And not only that, I remember a long time ago Spoon talking about the SS Badger ferry across Lake Michigan. Mm-hmm. I took that. I was in. Where does it leave from? Does it leave from Manitowoc? Is that where it leaves from?
Yeah.
Yes, Manitowoc.
Yeah. Is it Manitowoc or Ludington?
I think
it leaves the Wisconsin side.
Yeah, well, from the Wisconsin side, we'll take Spoon. Spoon. I apologize.
Hard part. Michigan, yeah.
Hard part, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Manitowoc is in Wisconsin. Ludington.
Yeah, Ludington. Yeah, Manitowoc.
I thought it was in Muskogee in Michigan.
You're thinking Muskegon. That's where the high-speed ferry goes.
I've taken the high-speed ferry.
Yeah, this was the old coal-fired, slow. We had time to watch 2 movies. Ferry. Yeah. Yes.
And why would I be mad at you about that?
No, because I realized if I brought it up later, then it would be like, well, why didn't you say something? Well, yeah, I didn't want to.
Oh, okay. You mean when we first talked or tonight?
No, I just meant later on. Obviously, it's like, oh yeah, you should do. I forgot I have this story. Well, why didn't you say something? Well,
okay. Like as if you're going to be on again. You mean?
Oh.
Wow. Hey, George. George would be an expert on when the border is going to open, because I'm assuming you drive every day to a place called Cornwall, Ontario, which is right on the St. Lawrence River, which divides Canada from the United States in that part of the world. And so I'm assuming many times you're down by, you can see the St. Lawrence River.
I am, and you know what? A part of my run actually takes. I go halfway across because Cornwall Island is squarely in the middle of the border crossing.
Oh, the land of Akwesasne.
That would slow you down every day.
We do work for the bands over there.
Okay.
Yeah. Great bunch of guys to work with.
No, they really are. But the thing is, because it's a mixed traffic corridor, I have to go through customs every time I come back.
Yeah.
So I talked to the agents for the CBSA, the Canadian Border Service Agency.
Hang on. Oh. Can I finish asking my question here?
Yes.
He's a keener. So anyways, what I was going to say was, I'm assuming you see the United States of America many, many days on your travels.
I do.
So if anybody would be an authority of when the border would be open again, it would be you. So when do you think it'll be open again?
Well, seeing as it's still open right now for commercial traffic,
Yeah.
that's their biggest priority. For travelers, I'd say probably by June it'll probably be open, because there's going to be pressure put on, I think, by holidaymakers. And the other thing is too that especially in the summertime, so many Canadians and Americans cross the border just for the summer holidays. So I think if they start impinging on that, because school's already out, they're going to be raring to go. So I think that they're probably going to be open back up by June.
Hey, yes, I said April.
Well, if they don't open the borders over here, you guys are going to have fun finding somewhere to sleep in St. Louis.
Why, have you canceled it already?
No. But if I'm not there,
right? If you're not there, we can't party anyways. I bet you we'll survive without you, but it's not a problem anyways. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, in future, George, just agree with me. That's the best way to go.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Okay, I think that's it. Have we got anything else to cover? We had 2 hours.
Did you talk about our Facebook page?
Well, I haven't got there yet.
Okay.
We have a website, amodellerslife.com. And you go there, you see all kinds of stuff, including we never decided on what picture to use for the cover story for this. I'm gonna have to come up with a photo now. A photo. And we have a Facebook page, and we have all kinds of stuff. And we have Patreon. This is a free podcast. So yeah, if you want to hear more of this stuff on Tuesdays, every Tuesday there's a Patreon. You go to click on the Patreon link, and for $5 a month you'll get the rest of the stuff. And when this whole thing is all over, and I'm not sure how long I can keep up this everyday thing anyways, but when this is all over, we go back to twice a week. Anything else we need to say? I don't think so. We got it covered. Anybody? Noise?
Everything will be okay.
Yeah, Jenkins?
Yep. Yeah, just calm down. Everything's fine. Stay calm and build model trains.
All right.
You go.
Can we have a show of hands from the veterans here? Ron, Chris, Hard Part, Bruce. Which one of these two cowboys should we let take us out of here? Bruce?
Well, I think George.
George, okay.
George did such a great job on the email address. I think he's proven himself worthy.
Okay, so we have 2 votes for George and 2 votes are left.
I'll go with George.
Oh,
George.
Oh, it's a consensus. Wow. So one of 2 things: either they don't like you, Martin.
Oh, we know Martin.
Yeah, we
all
know.
Too well.
Martin, good shot. Martin will have another chance sometime. George, we're not sure about
Marty would just use a bunch of extra L's. He wouldn't be able to understand anything he said. So.
Yes.
So are you ready, George?
I'm ready.
All right. So remember, A Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
Canadian National Railway modelers.
While in Busted Knuckle, guests of A Modeler's Life podcast stay at the Casa del Sol Motor Court and Inn, where late-night dancing at the Rumba Room is a magical event to be experienced.
It's another Lincoln Homer.